A very good evening and welcome to Network. My name is Pumela Zondi. Now, Women's Month is coming to an end today, and we're continuing with our profiles of women in technology. 2 days ago, Google announced its plan to use drone technology to deliver packages. Tonight, we'll tell you about a program that plans to help people with creative technology ideas. We'll also chat about Samsung's digital village in the township of Cosmos City in Johannesburg. Remember that we are live. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter. We are on News Network at SABC.co.za and email. Let's start with your social media and technology news. Cell phone network provider MTN will meet with trade union solidarity over planned layoffs. This follows MTN's retrenchment notice to 847 managerial staff. The company attributes the move to a significant market share loss in South Africa.
Thank you.
When October starts, Africa's mobile phone network leader, MTN, is expected to give out final notices to employees it's laying off. Now, Trade Union Solidarity says it believes the company should enter into consultation with the employees instead. Solidarity argues that MTN has failed to inform its employees to seek representation from unions. Meanwhile, MTN says it has not decided how many jobs will be shared. But it has since started with what it's calling a restructuring process. The company says it's realigning its business with what is required by the market. Earlier this month, the group reported a 7% fall in revenue for its South African operation. The loss in revenue was blamed on increasing competition, mostly from smaller and newer players, Cell C and Telecom Mobile.
In the last week, Telecom announced its new rebranding strategy. That strategy drops Telecom Mobile as a subdivision. You will remember that Telecom Mobile was called Data before. When it launched, Data was short-lived. Telecom Mobile has 2% of the prepaid market share in South Africa. The mobile division isn't going away. It's just that it will no longer be promoted as a separate entity. Last week here on Network, we spoke about a program called Techno Girls. The program is trying to encourage girls to study math, science and technology-related fields. It's an initiative by USO Consulting, South Africa's Basic Education Department and UNICEF. Network's Boitume Lokasa tells us more about the project.
In South Africa, the current trend is that boys outperform girls in maths and science. To address that, an initiative called Techno Girl was established. Here, girls from age of 15 are placed in various companies and government departments where they can shadow tech professionals. USO Consulting is responsible for identifying companies that can take up these girls. But they feel that many of the girls get discouraged by society.
Those who complete the studies, they go into the field and they find that the field is just mainly dominated. And men will marginalize you, will go out and have beer together, form relationships, and you will not be there.
About 8,000 girls have gone through the program. The State Information Technology Agency gives the technical support.
There is a Techno Girl alumni program, which is a support program where the girls are further given support in their tertiary studies, or in the world of work. So we continue to have that ongoing relationship with the girls.
The Department of Basic Education is tasked with identifying the girls from various schools. The criteria include good performance in key subjects. Nomfundo Shezi is one of the program's participants.
Transnet redressed the mentality that we had, that a woman can only do nursing, a woman can only nurture and care for children. But then it told us that we can do anything, and I see that we can, because already there are women who are excelling in the field of engineering.
Alumni Kagiso Tari feels Techno Girl helped her to streamline her career choice.
I gained some skills on how to handle job interviews.
Techno Girl enters a 3 to 4 year agreement with a partner company. This gives the organization enough time to mentor girls.
Counterfeit Ebola medication has started appearing in West Africa. The disease has killed over 1,400 people this year in the region. The government of Ghana is now using technology to fight this. The government is teaming up with some partners for the Ebola fight. One of those partners is a low-tech application called M-Pedigree, which we've told you about here on Network before. M-Pedigree verifies the authenticity of legal medication. Let's listen to how M-Pedigree works.
Pedigree is an application, actually. It's actually brainchild by a Ghanaian entrepreneur. He's a tech innovator. His name is Bright Simmons. And how it works, pretty much, when you buy your medication, it will have a unique hidden ID, and then you've got a scratch card on it, just the same way we buy airtime. And when you scratch it, it reveals you a hidden number that you SMS to a short code, a given short code, that will be with any other telco operator, and then it validates the medication. So you're at least, confident that the medication that you're taking is really valid and not fake.
Are electronic cigarettes aiding or hampering the progress made in helping the world end smoking? This has been the question since the introduction of these devices some 10 years back. In the past week, the World Health Organization called for stiff regulation of electronic cigarettes in the latest bid to control the booming new market. So what are e-cigarettes and how should they be regulated? Here's Network's Telecom with some of the answers.
In South Africa, the government's tobacco control policy has over the last 20 years halved the number of adult smokers of cigarettes. This it has done by partly imposing a ban on cigarette advertising and restricting smoking in public spaces. But a newer and sexier form of smoking is taking hold across the world. This is in the form of electronic cigarettes. The popularity of e-cigarettes is growing fast, and in Europe alone there are 7 million users. Figures in South Africa are harder to come by, although there's an active market. E-cigarettes are marketed as a cheaper alternative and as a way of giving up tobacco. And even some non-smokers are beginning to use them. As with many other countries across the world, South Africa is battling with how to regulate the usage of e-cigarettes. Many countries are opting to ban smoking them in public areas.
I think
that a ban on smoking e-cigarettes in public is an error. It's an error for two reasons. One, no scientific argument justifies this measure, and more particularly, banning it in public places likens the e-cigarette to real cigarettes, which is a mistake. In the minds of users, it will be seen as just as dangerous.
The e-cigarette has a light-emitting diode which makes the tip go red. And what appears to be smoke is actually water vapor, as there's no tobacco inside. When the smoker inhales, a built-in atomizer vaporizes the liquid in the cigarette's cartridge. This liquid contains solvents, flavorings, and sometimes even the addictive chemical nicotine. The device is powered by a rechargeable battery, and a system of internal electric circuits control the glowing tip. With a range of variety of aromas on offer, every taste seems to be catered for. The jury is still out of the potential health risks linked to the cartridge solvents used. Since nicotine itself is addictive, a whole new generation of smokers could become dependent on the electronic cigarette.
The technology of 3D printing is proving to be quite beneficial to the medical world. Uganda's Comprehensive Rehabilitation Services is planning to launch a project that entails rebuilding sockets for limbs using a 3D printer. This is great news for Ugandans seeking to replace limbs with artificial ones.
According to the World Health Organization, there is a 40,000 shortfall of prosthetic technicians in the developing world. It will take 50 years to train 18,000 more. 3D printing could be the answer to this problem. The Rehabilitation Comprehensive Service in Uganda plans to launch a project that will rebuild limbs by using a 3D printer. The organization's orthopedic department says it takes a skilled technician about 5 days to construct a customized socket for the prosthetic to fit into. And they are hopeful that with the 3D printer, this will be both faster and cheaper. Across the ocean, China has implanted its first 3D printed vertebra. The recipient of the artificial part was a 12-year-old boy suffering from bone cancer. The surgery is reported to have taken about 5 hours at China's Peking University. Uganda will only be able to perform surgeries such as this one around October 2015.
After the break, we'll chat to one of the speakers who will be at Mobile Web Africa. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter. Stay with us.
Malibongwe igama lamakhosikazi.
And welcome back. We are on SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter. Now, on the 10th of September, the largest mobile technology expo, Mobile Web Africa, returns to South Africa. When the expo was launched 5 years ago, there was not much to talk about in the mobile app developers space in South Africa. But thanks to a rapid mushrooming of shared space hubs, that is changing.
Increasingly, mobile application hubs are being created throughout South Africa to assist developers with the resources and know-how they need. The hubs are shared spaces where technology entrepreneurs can interact, work and start and grow their businesses. Take the AMLab program, for example. It is based at the Innovation Hub in Pretoria. Young developers can tap into the AMLab resources, provided they work on the mobile applications that help solve certain problems facing the country.
What we're looking for are those innovations that actually address a particular challenge. So there has to be a problem in society, and the innovation has got to be talking to that particular challenge. And broadly and ideally, what we'll be looking for are innovations that also create jobs and also provide more opportunity and competitiveness for the Gauteng economy.
Thanks to these shared spaces, even well-established app developers are finding that the local industry is becoming more competitive as more people come up with innovative mobile applications.
The competition is really stiff. Every year there's more and more apps, and in this great country of ours, there's so much innovation that's coming out, especially in this young industry of mobile.
With the growing mobile app industry in South Africa, come more innovative solutions to the country's woes. From emergency apps assisting children in medical situations to ones that simply help you to catch a ride. Shared technology spaces are truly helping to change lives, both for the developers and the users.
And in studio, we have Aubrey Malabi. He will be one of the speakers at Mobile Web Africa that's taking place on the 10th of September in Johannesburg. Aubrey is starting Code Tribe, which aims to work with young technology innovators who have brilliant ideas. Code Tribe will be based at the Innovation Hub in Pretoria. Hello, and thank you for being a part of our network.
Well, thank you for having me.
Now, what will you be talking about at Mobile Web Africa?
I want to talk about the initiative that we're launching tomorrow morning. So the timing is just right. Essentially, the focus is on the development of focus skills in mobile and cloud. Why did we think about going this route? I've been a mentor over the last couple of years, and I've worked with a lot of young entrepreneurs and recent university graduates. There's no shortage of bright, brilliant ideas. But what I began to see over the time was that there was a little bit more needed, that we needed to boost up the capabilities of these youngsters, because essentially from the idea to a finished product needs the kind of capabilities and the kind of skills that they didn't currently have. So over the year or so, we built mobile and cloud applications really focused on delivering that training experience. We want to be different. We want to be different from the other initiatives all of them have their place. But we wanted to put a twist on it, a little bit of innovation that would help ramp up.
Okay, let's go to that, because as you say, there are quite a lot of incubators. You're not an incubator, are you?
Well, in a sense, we are. In a sense, we
How's it going to work then?
Well, the Co-Tribe is not an incubator itself. But MLab and the Innovation Hub have incubation.
I'm talking about Co-Tribe specifically. How is that going to work?
Really, Co-Tribe is a child of both the Innovation Hub and the MLab. And I'd like just to take a second to tell you about the Innovations Hub's new focus on the Gasi. We want to go out into the townships because we believe there's a whole minefield of people there that essentially could build their opportunity by being skilled and go and build a business, or they could raise the credibility that they need in order to be able to get what we deem a decent job.
Now, you are based in, or you'll be based in Pretoria. Now, if somebody is in a township that's not in Pretoria, what happens then?
I'm glad you asked that, because one of the ways in which we're trying to innovate in this space is that we want to build up a community of skilled developers. And that community is not really bound by the geography of where they happen to be. You've got to remember, one of the key things we want to do in terms of bringing the skills up is the area of mobile and cloud. Already, that indicates that it is possible to do a lot more from any place. One of your producers, as I came in here, noticed that I had a backpack with me.
Yeah.
And she wanted to know, why do you have this backpack on a bright, nice Sunday evening like this? And I told her, my gadgets are in there.
Yeah.
My work is in there. There are times when you have to wait for things that you could be quite productive. It no longer matters where you are.
All right, Aubrey Malabi, I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there tonight. So if people want to hear more about Co-Tribe, I guess they're going to have to go to Mobile Web Africa on the 10th.
That's right.
Thank you very much for being a part of our network.
Thank you.
All right. As we round off our profiles of women in technology, we chat to the head of information technology here at the SABC, Lorraine Sifulo.
I've been in this industry for about close to 18 years now. Started off as a computer programmer, then became systems administrator in the Unix platform. Then I became an ITIL practitioner and became a CIO for a state-owned entity in Limpopo. And then now I'm with the SABC as the GM of IT. I'm a mom of 2 boys, a wife of 10 years. A friend of mine bumped into me at a checker store, and she showed me the receipt of the purchase that she had done and said, somebody wrote a program to write this. And I said, that's fascinating. We as the SABC, we need to start dominating and make sure that we are able to support that we can go on the internet, we can broadcast on the internet and not have restrictions such as old computers or old pieces of equipment that are restricting us from getting there. We need to start being not afraid to be in the forefront of the broadcasting technology. I want to become an ambassador of technology to the layman. I want to encourage more of our young girls and boys to enter this field and excel in it.
That's Lorraine Sifulo, head of information technology here at the SABC. After the break, we'll talk about Samsung's new digital village in the township of Cosmos City. Email us on newsnetwork@sabc.co.za.
think that the media has then fully unpacked of what these strikes could possibly do to the economy if it's going to that extent of a recession.
It doesn't mean that when we solve the mining strike that suddenly the GDP is going to go and increase and we're all going to go and have an economic
Very
boom.
true,
So
yes.
we've got to go and look at that fact as well.
Obviously, the media, can't touch on absolutely everything. It is a very complicated situation.
Watch Media Monitor with me, Alicia Jali, Sundays at 9 a.m. only on the SABC News Channel.
Across the globe, the continent and the entire country, every second there's always a breaking story. SABC News is your reliable eye, ear and information system in bringing you events as they happen. Our cutting-edge and hard-hitting journalism leaves no stone unturned, giving you the whole picture every time. Join us every day on SABC3 and know what is happening around you. SABC News, Africa's news leader.
You can't have a gut feeling about other people's gut feeling.
Ngaba has continued the tradition of passing stories onto the next generation using a platform that offers stories to a far more greater audience.
Zombie no go unless you tell them to go.
This is what the audiences all over the world knew Fela Kuti for.
Join Musam Khalipi on Afro Showbiz every Saturday at 19:30 CAT.
SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter, follow us there. Now, Samsung has built what they're calling a digital village in the township of Cosmo City, north of Johannesburg. The village has a solar-powered internet school as well. To tell us more about the digital village is Samsung's Public Affairs and Corporate Citizenship Manager, Gia Mudimweng. Hello, and thank you for being a part of our network, sir.
Thank you.
Now, what is a digital village?
So a digital village is a collation of our various solutions which we have been rolling out under our corporate citizenship drive. A digital village is made up of a solar-powered internet school, solar-powered health center, solar power generator, solar powered administration center, as well as solar powered telemedical center. And you will notice that in everything I've said, it begins with solar powered.
Yeah.
It's because we've realized that in Africa, our consumers are always confronted with two challenges. One, it's either there's no electricity at all, or where there's electricity, it comes at a very high cost. Now, this hampers development because electricity then gives access to, computers, which then forms part of computer literacy, of which if we don't have access to computers, we'll not be able to learn in the 21st century type teaching and learning environment. Now, in responding to the United Nations Millennium Development Goals, as a responsible corporate citizen, we realized that we needed to bring solutions that would enable us to reach out to communities in that way.
Now, Gia, how do you choose these communities? I know the latest one is at Cosmo City,
yes,
but how do you choose them exactly?
Yes, so need is one of the key determinants. We look for communities where there's need, so that when you look at the before and after effect, you can realize that if this kind of an investment did not come to this community, it means they would not be where they are. I mean, for us, it's very, touching to see that transformation happening, where a learner in Cosmo City suddenly has the same, access and connectivity as a learner in Upper Sandton.
You mentioned an internet school.
Yes.
What happens at the internet school? Do students or young people go there to learn how to use the internet?
Yes. So the internet is a means. It facilitates the learning. What happens in a solar-powered internet school is that we've re-engineered a 12-meter long shipping container. We've put in Samsung solar-powered netbooks and an interactive whiteboard. So inside there, learners are now able to interact with the teacher in a very ICT-driven space.
You've chosen Cosmos City here.
Yes.
There are many townships in Johannesburg. There's Alex, there's Deep Sloot, there's Soweto. Why Cosmos City specifically?
Cosmos City, it's because the digital village sits in an area where there's been a community-run clinic. Now, the digital village has got aspects of healthcare as well as education. Now, because there's a community-run clinic, the center was well looked after, because I think usage is one important factor that we need to consider. And in Cosmos City, the healthcare facilities are then easily coordinated by an NGO.
So you find a community with a healthcare facility that's coordinated well, and then that's where you go.
I think it depends on the environment. So
all right. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. Gia Mudimweng from Samsung Africa, thank you very much for joining us tonight on Network.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now that brings us to the end of tonight's show. We welcome your feedback on SABC Network, both on Facebook and Twitter. Our email address is newsnetwork@sabc.co.za. We leave you with an online video of last weekend's debut event of the Red Bull X Fighters Tour in Pretoria. The season's finale of the international tour took place under the watchful eye of the statue of Nelson Mandela on the grounds of the Union Buildings. From me and the rest of the team, have a good one.